Hello friends. So I frequently receive few questions regarding that IS10, which is your event occurring after the reporting date. So the most important things which I frequently receive from whether it's my colleagues during book closing every quarter or yearly closings, or from some of my friends, that what is that actually which we need to consider as event occurring after your reporting date kind of things. So we need to understand the basic difference between event occurring after your book close and event occurring after your actual balance sheet period. That is your, in case of India, it is April to March, 31st March. And book close generally you do every quarter, right? For example, April to June, July to September, and so on. So the basic difference between event occurring after reporting date is generally considered as from the date when your financial year is closing, your audit is closed, your books has been closed and all. So the thing which actually we consider that when we'll consider this as a its events, and how we will consider that whether that event is actually you're going to adjust in books, because my books is closed, you have post all that entries, closing entries and all that things. But let's take an example. For example, your account receivables, as on 31st March you have booked some account receivables and you have might have created some provisions as well, bad debt provisions, ECL calculation, all that things you must have done. So 31st March you are having some sort of legal receivables. That is your I will say, if you remember your financial instruments concept, so that is your financial asset which you have booked. You have rights to collect those monies, and that exists on the balance sheet date. But the audit completion, and then after completion of audit, that auditor issues audit reports, right? So this periods, this when actually auditor signs that audit report, and and the date when you close that books, the period when it is actually the period gap between book close to till audit report issued. So this is something where you need to look into that whether there is any event. That's what it's called, an event occurring after your reporting date. You're reporting on 31st March, and then whatever is occurring. So it's legally exist on the 31st March when you close that books, for example, AR receivables, as we are talking about. So now, these AR receivables, when you auditor issued their report, before that they, as you know, that actual audit start after 31st March mostly, and maybe it will go on till 15 days, 20 days or something, or for good company maybe within 15 days of April audit is complete. In some cases it is other period maybe, and your annual return filing as per India, for example, in ROC filing and all that. So before that auditor generally finish their audit and all that. So when auditor started reviewing your books, started auditing, or started selecting sampling of your books of accounts, transactions, all that. So generally they check your during the year transactions based on their samples, and then they said they must have also checked that what is that after closing, what all the transactions happened, whether there is any material changes happened, whatever outstanding AR we are saying, is that actually collectible or collected in subsequent period or not. So if something get collected in subsequent period, then collection has happened in subsequent period. Actually it's the event also happened in subsequent period, and then collection, you have whatever collection you did, that you booked, you adjusted here, that is okay. But in subsequent period you find that one of the customer become bankrupt, they'll not be able to pay you money they communicated you. Or in some cases maybe you'll find that AR outstanding is long, very long periods AR outstanding. When auditor started questioning, started reviewing those AR, started confirming that balance confirmation, whether that is genuine AR or not, and all that, then they discover that this AR is actually not legitimate, this AR is not sustainable in your book, and actually this AR should be provisioned and you have already closed your book, right, on 31st March. All the entries, adjustment entry as per your management analysis and all that things you have done, all sales, purchase, expense, income, everything has been booked and closed. Now what you will do? So this is where the concept in your International Accounting Standard Frameworks IS 10, which actually come into force, and they guide you that how you should treat a post period accounting events, that is after 31st March book close. So I hope this example going to help you. So what you will do, you will going to adjust, because that is an adjusting event. Why it is an adjusting event? The concept is, if something exists, the conditions or the situation that was existed at the time of book close, that is as on 31st March 2000, for example, it is 2026, it has existed. So they're having some existence on the day of book close, and the event which occur, that event impact that existence, because that existence what we have considered, that existence is not valid as on today, considering the latest situation, latest analysis, latest information. So we need to adjust that. Now on the contrary, for example, there is some, you closed your books on 31st March, your books of accounts, machinery, for example, manufacturing company, all the stocks, inventory, everything is there, and all of a sudden on 1st of April some flood came. What you will do? Even if it on the difference, can you adjust that books? Whether it existed on 31st March, that condition? No, because it all of a sudden, and it's actually happened after your 31st March close. So it's that nothing, it's like there is no existence situations which can impact whatever situation currently happened, that can impact the situation which existing as on 31st March. It was not existing. It's a new and altogether a very fresh transaction or events which happened and impact your books. So what we will do in those cases? Let's think on that. And if you are having questions, or if you want to ask on that anything, you can ping me in the comment button. I'll come back with that with some very detailed explanation. Thank you so much for your time, and hope this will help.